guys have any question, just let me know, and I will try to figure out your solution for your question. So let me share my screen starting now. Guys have any question, just let me know, and I will try to. Okay, guys. All right. So for today's free online lesson, you are with me, Wan Siti Hajar, and I'm application engineer from Acadsystems Sdn Bhd. So for today's agenda, I'm going to talk about how we can do an update for Revit new tools. If you have any Revit new tools, and then you can do this quick update. And then I'm going to talk about how we can use a people flow toolkit. If you want to use it for social distancing space design, we can use this add-in. This is among the 4 tools that I'm going to talk about: the multiple path, the one-way indicator, the people content, and the special grid. So what are all of these? So for the first one, the multiple path. So the multiple path is very essential for you to show the optional path. So we can select the starting point and then the end point, and it will let you know how many paths that can be created from that selection of the first and end point. The second one is one-way indicator. So this one, if we want to represent the direction of the travel, if we see this is the one-way indicator, so we want people to just go that direction of our path. The next one, I'm going to talk about the people content. So we can use the people content family for us to indicate the blockers within our path of travel, as well as we use it for the occupancy. So to indicate how many people that we can fit within that small spaces. So we use the people content. The next one, I'm going to talk about the special grid. You can use the special grid to overlay to indicate the distancing within that spaces. You can also use a special grid if you want to arrange your furniture within that spaces as well. I'll show you later after how we can do that. All right, now we can go into how we can first to the agenda. Is that how you want to update the new tools within the Revit. So what you can do is that you can go to the Autodesk desktop app over here. If you go and click over here, so here is my Autodesk desktop app. All right, guys. So if you click on here, this is the tool and product that you have been assigned the license. So you can install them from here as well. If you click on agree, and then you can install directly. Otherwise, this is the apps that I have installed on my desktop. So if I go to Revit over here, and then if I want to add the, you can see this is the update that you can add on your Revit. If you want to add the people tool flow toolkit, if I go here, this is what you want to update, the add-in that you want to use if you want to use for social distancing space design. So if you click on update, and it will update on your Revit. So if I go here, over here, I have my level over here. So I'll show you how we can use the 4 tools within the people flow toolkit. But before that, I'd just like to welcome Cecilia Badu. Thank you for coming in. So we'll be going to start using the people flow toolkit. So there are 4 main tools. The first one is the multiple path, the one-way indicator, the people content, and also the special grid. So let's get started with the multiple over here. All right, so I have these a big spaces. So let's see if I wanna, let's say over here, I wanna create a path that is going from this outer corridor into the restaurant. I wanna calculate how many paths that people can go to the restaurant. So what you wanna do first and foremost, you go to analyze over here. And then over here, you can find the people flow toolkit that you have already add on. Let me move. This is the people flow toolkit. Otherwise, if you haven't updated, then you cannot find this one. So if we go to multiple path over here, select on the multiple path, and then over here you can specify the path separation. So let's say that we start with the 1 meter because we want that distance between our social distance separation. So I go for 1 meter over here and I click on OK, and let's start starting for our starting point is here, and then the end of the route, if I want people to get to the restaurant over here, and it will calculate for you how many paths that people can go from there to that one point. There you go, 2 paths created with the minimum separation of 1 meter. So if I close over here and I click on this one path, you can see the length of that path. You can also see the time taken for them to get from this starting point up until this end point. And you can see what is the speed for that people to get there, the suggested speed over here. And then over here, we have is select from what room up until to what room. All right, so if you have here, if you already indicate what room for each of this one, then it will specify for you what room to what room. If you haven't, then it will not specify the what room to room, because this is the room hosted path. All right, now let's get started with all right, thank you for coming in, Shinky, and I have here David here. So we have started with the people flow toolkit for multiple paths. So I'll show you one more for the, let's say I want people to get from here up until from foyer up until to the auto corridor. Let's go and select that point. Okay, there is only one path that people can go from there because it doesn't have enough spacing for them to separate within these spaces. So that's the only one path that can be created over here. So this is very useful for you if you required to design a spaces that match with the social distancing standard. So you want to use this tool. So we go for one-way indicator next. So let me show you how we can use for the one-way indicator over here. Let's say over here, one-way indicator is very useful annotation marks that you can use if you want to mark the people flow within that spaces. So if I go click over here and I click on space, space, space to rotate, and I can't host them on this door opening, and I go space, 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 space again. All right, let's go in here. That is the path that I want people to go in. But let's say if I'm changing over here, all right, let's say we add one path indicator over here. Let's say that I'm going to space, space, and I rotate to the opposite point over here. And then when I click on the path that I have created over here, all right, when you multiple select them and update the path, what you will see is that it cannot create this path anymore longer because it's against the direction of the path that we have selected it. So and I cannot create that one. That's what will happen if we come out with a warning. All right, guys. So let's go to the next one for the people content over here. All right. This is the people content that is very useful. Let's say you want to see if that spaces meet with the social distancing standard. If I want to see if this corridor can be used or not for the social distancing, is that I place this mark over here, and then from that mark you can select the special distance in the DR parameter. Is that 2.4 or 2.2 meter? Otherwise, if you haven't find the radius that you required, you can go to edit type over here. If I go to edit type over here, and then from here, you can select the physical distance radius. if I show you from the Malaysian standard over here, we are required to have a social distancing by 1 meter on each other, by shoulder to the shoulder. So if I go here again, I edit type and I have 1 meter over here. That is the radius. It means that from the center up until to the glove, to the bubble over here. Let me measure for you. Here to here is 1 meter. So here to here you have another 1 meter. And then also from the top to the bottom. So that is the space, this social distancing space is for one person need to have. All right. So if I put here on this corridor, yep, it can meet for one person, but I want to meet for 2 persons. So you know that this corridor is not meeting within the social distancing requirement. This is not what we want. So you want to double these corridor sizes for your social distancing space design. All right, let me go again and add from the analyze over here. All right, thank you for those who just come in. So if you want to see your people flow toolkit over here, you have to update from the Revit toolset first, and then after you have update, and then you can find your add-in from here. So I have gone to the multiple path, and I have talk about the one-way indicator, and also talk. And right now we go to the people content one more. All right, let me select over here. Let's go for a blocker. If I go and select over here. And I'll say that if I put on path of travel, it will act as the blocker, show you how it works. So the people content over here, it works as a blocker. So let's say that I want to go from this point up until this point, it will try to avoid this as a blocker. So this is also essential if you want to put a furniture and then you want people to for the safety of the people, you can also put this bubble of the blocker for them, so that when people go to that path, they will have some sense of security, although there is a furniture blocking the path. So I'll show you how is that working. If you go to edit here, edit family. Okay. If I go to reference level over here, so this is the people that we have put for our social distancing designed. But if I want to put a furniture, what you can do is that you can go insert over here, and then you go to the import here. And then if I find my furniture folder over here, and we have the setting over here. Let me go for this setting, for instance, and I go to open over here, and I can find under the family here. All right, we go to furniture and a family, and I click on it and I drop inside here. Let's say that I want to get into the furniture aside from the people. Otherwise, you can also draw using the detail line on top here, grid and line model. So if I go and modify look into project over here, and I'll click on Toolkit over there and override the existing. So you see here now is the furniture. So this is like if you want people to have some sense of security, if you want to know that path is blocked, the furniture is blocking the path or not, you can also use the people content over here on this one. So it's not necessary for just for the people. You can also use to input the furniture. You can also input to use to indicate for the opening if that's safe or not. All right, guys. Let me show you what else we can do. Is that if within this conference hall and you want to design the social distancing spaces for the conference hall, you can use these people content and input them one by one, or otherwise you can also use the special grid over here. If you select on a special grid over here, and then you see the square or the hexagon that you can select for the grid pattern. Let's say I go by the square over here, and I have select the grid spacing needs to be by 2 meters. All right. So we want to know if this conference hall can also be used during the normal season, or it can also be used for the social distancing season. So this is what we can do. And then when you click on the room over here, and then you click on the finish on top of here, and you see there is a grid that you can also use to align the spaces. So I'm going to rearrange all of these furniture so that it meets within the social distancing standard. If you go over here and you click on the align top over here, and I click on the align here and align with that one. And let's say that I want to align at the center of my grid. All right. Okay. So at the end of the day, what you are expecting is that you get the spaces that is aligning just like this. So you can rearrange all of your furniture and arrange them so that it meets with the social distancing spaces. And from that, you can know that how many people that you can fit within that conference hall, within that spaces when the social distancing standard is applied. You can calculate them from there. So let me go to that one, also aligned with this standard. Is there any questions so far? Welcome to the sitting coming in just now. If you have any other feature that you want me to talk about, just let me know in the YouTube channel boxes, or you can just let me know from the chat here. So I'm going to align this for you. So if you select the reference line first, and then you select which model that you want to align, there you got. Select the reference first, and then select the line. Reference by this one center. I want to align my furniture to that center. So you know this is not social distancing distancing spaces design. This doesn't work. So when you use this grid, then you have that social distancing spaces design that work for the standard. All right, guys, I'm almost doing this last one for you. All right, we got that. The close events first. All right, and then what I want to do next is I want to show you how we can add people content and show you if these spaces, when we are using the grid, is that meeting the social distancing spaces. I'll show you in a moment. So we click on the reference line over here. Now I'm going to go again to analyze over here, and I have a people content over here. And when I click on here, let's say I want the people to be at the center of this chair. I put it here, and I put it over here. So you see that is meeting with the social distancing spaces over there. There you go. People is weird look direction. Oh, we got it. All right. One more. All right. Cool. Okay, so that is how you actually designed with the special grid over here. But the special grid is also useful if you want to align all your furniture within that space. So you can also use that aside from using it for the social distancing spaces. And this special grid, you can always adjust your, if you, let's say that you want to edit the width, the length, you can just edit directly from there. Remember guys, in order for you to specify here, all right, remember guys that if you want to specify let me go here. If you want to specify the special grid, you need to define the room area first. Otherwise, you cannot do that if you don't have the room being defined. So I have one question over here. This is by Shinky Ying. Hi, could you show how to use generative design to do social distancing? Hi, Shinky. So I couldn't show you today because due to our limitation time, but I'll show you in our next lesson. But otherwise, if you want to do that, you can, for the generative design also, guys, if you want to use the generative design add-ins, you have to update from this over here. Otherwise, you cannot find your social generative design toolkit on the top here. All right. So let me go again on this. When you have already aligned all those people, and let's say that I want to know how many people are there that are going to be to use the conference hall for social distancing. So what you can do is that within your schedule over here, if you see from here, is that when you create a new schedule over here, you can select the generic model over here. And from then you can calculate the cost, the count of the people. And let's click on the count over there. And I have one more family and a type, because our model people content over here is specified under the generic model. That is the reason why you have to select the generic model as your field. So if I click on the family and type over here, and I click on insert and I click on OK. And this is my generic module schedule. And so let's go to do some sorting over here. Let me do some sorting as a header, family and a type. And I click footer, title, count and only. All right, now for formatting, I'm going to click on the count, show calculation, calculate total, and I click on OK. All right, let's find our metric model here, the metric people content. So we find that there is 10 people that we require for that spaces. That's so far that I have recreated. So from here, this one spaces, there is 10 people that have created so far. You can always do, you can rearrange them, continue rearrange them using the array button over here until you fill up this conference hall with the social distancing spaces. Because currently we don't have that in our social distancing spaces over here. So if you find this moving, and again, because just now I click on it, I keep moving it. So you can always click on this and then pin them on first. All right, now it's working for me. Yeah, another one thing that I want to say is that if you don't want to use this for your layout drawing after this, you can always hide them when I click over here and pin them first, and then I click on over here and I click on the hide in a view an element that we gone by. So it's very useful tips for the social grid. I know that if I do this quickly, let me show you how we can do this quickly. All right. So is that if you have this all, and if you set, if I go here first, and then if I delete this one first, because I don't want to use that one. If I select these all instances over here, visible in view. creating. Set them. No worries. So let me select multiple of them over here. And then you can always use the array button over top here. And then let's say it supposed to be by the end of here, right? Because we want to align them on top of that one line. All right, and then we can just and then you can just add more number of them over here. Oh, I must have missed. Okay, there you go. Now I'm almost done with my social distancing spaces design over here. There you go. I have add all those people, and then when you click again, you can see that your table is being updated. So there is 65 people that I can fit within the conference hall if for the social distancing. So let's say this over here will be my circulation spaces. So I just let this one be. So the reason here, let me show you the measurement over here. From here to here, that will be around 1 meter, and then so that's safe. Especially if this is going to be for the circulation as well, so you can consider this is a good enough for the social distance. So always remember that when you are using the social distancing over here, the multiple path over here, this path separation, you need to require some calculation over here. And then the one-way indicator over here, you can also add it in the family if you want to have both family, like one from this side and from this one side. You can also always use that. And if I go here, and you can add the type over here, specify the depth of your area, and then you can also select over here if you want to do two-way, you can do add the family and save as a two-way sign in root analysis, right? Let me show you the feature for the route analysis over here. This is for path of the travel. So it's similar to the multiple path, but the path of the travel is just calculating you the from one space to one point to end point. The multiple path, it trying to measure for you the path that is available from that one point to the next route. But for the path travel, is just calculating you the total distance, what distance, what path that you can take from that one point to that point. All right. So this is saying that there is you cannot find the route. So it will let you know what happened if you cannot calculate the route. For instance, over here, it said that they cannot create from here to here because there is a blocker over here at the opening. So they cannot flow through the blocker. So you cannot circulate within these spaces if you have all those arrangement of your furniture. If I delete here again, and I'll show you if I use the path of travel over here again. Hello, welcome to the JP over here. And path of travel over here. And to this path. Now let's see if they can calculate now. Yeah, that's the reason why I cannot calculate the earlier, because the blocker is blocking the opening, so they cannot calculate the path. All right, guys, I've completed my analysis over here. One last feature that can be found on the Revit is that the reveal obstacle. Let's say that I want to see what is obstructing the path. So I'm just clicking on the reveal obstacle over here, and you can see the orange color. In the orange is the obstacle. So the opening will not be the obstacle. But otherwise, if you want to select what can be specified as obstacle, what is not, you can go over here on the top over here, and you can see this is what I'm clicking as a non-obstacle. Do not consider this model as an obstacle. So I've calculated the door is not being the obstacle. So if I want to say that you don't want the people go, if I don't want to the window to be obstacle, then you just tick on and I click on OK, and then it will show on this where I don't have window over here. But if you have, let me show you. If I put on a window, so that window is not being drawn in orange color because it's not obstacle. So the orange color is the obstacle. So you can always hide them again, and you can find this is your design. All right, I've shown that. If you got, do you have any questions so far, guys? No. All right, good. So I show you. All right, we have one more question over here. Thank you, David. Thank you for coming in. All right, guys. If you have any more further question later on, you can just go to our YouTube channel over here, Acadsystems, and you can always drop the comment on here. Subscribe. Don't forget to subscribe and drop the comment on this lesson if you want me to cover any lesson in the future, or you can just email me. All right, guys. Thank you so far. Bye bye.